How's it going? This is episode four, I believe. Yep. Of Athlete Insights with Peyton and myself. So I think last time we checked in was about 6 weeks ago. We hadn't started our in season yet. We were going into week one against Baptist. Just to give you guys a quick update of how the season's going. So we're 3-3 overall. We've went one loss, all back to back. We just haven't picked up a streak yet, but this week we're headed into Pueblo, leaving this Friday. I don't know, Peyton, do you want to talk about our season so far, what you think has been going on?
Yeah, so first game of the season when we played Southwest Baptist, they came down here. First play of the game, actually, they returned the kick on us.
Yep.
Right?
Yep.
But,
Funny.
Shout out to our team for just bouncing back from that because we played a great game after that. And so we ended up winning that one 24-14. It was a good game. And then you want to talk about the St. Thomas game kind of?
Yeah. So, I mean, jumping off that, I think a big thing with our team this year has been showing signs that we just we're comfortable when we're down still. It doesn't matter. We've been down in a couple games this year, but it hasn't really changed the stride of our confidence. We have stayed up, and we just know that if we're down, who cares? We're gonna come back. And so in that game we did end up losing, but we kept it close the whole time. They had a late fourth quarter touchdown that really I don't know. You could say it mattered. It didn't, but it happened, and the game was I think closer than the 10-point differential that showed. And then next week we walked into Fort Lewis. I guess they had us at home, but
yeah, Fort Lewis for Swarm Days there. That was a cool, fun experience that whole week. It was a good time. We played great that game. We won 33-7. We probably missed on some opportunities though, but ended up winning. So it was a good game. And then next week we went down to Colorado Mines for their homecoming.
Yep.
And that feels just an experience to be at.
Yeah, it was super cool. Being there was a really awesome experience. Last time I went there, which was not last year, but the year before that, it was packed, just like it was this time. This being our homecoming, this was probably one of the most packed games I've ever been a part of. There was one, I think, my freshman year of college when I was at Minnesota, that maybe had more in attendance, but that game, it felt electric. There was not a seat that was empty.
Yeah, and they got people lining up across.
Yeah, there's people just sitting in the grass, people who didn't have seats. It was really cool, and the whole time it was just so loud and people chanting. Their band was awesome. It was a really fun environment. We kind of got down on ourselves in the first quarter. Not down on ourselves, but just we had a quick trail that really it was tough to come back from. We were playing catch up the whole game, and our offense played really, really well that game, and they were really clicking. It was just we had some early mistakes that led us to just have to play catch up, and we couldn't quite come back from that one, which was, it is what it is. But
they're a good team too.
Yeah, we didn't hang down on our heads too much and bring us down in the dumps and bother us, because the next week we had South Dakota Mines, which everyone knows. I mean, it's one of the biggest rivalries in football, longest rivalry in D2 football. We went into Rapid, and if you want to elaborate on that, but
yeah, so this was actually my first time in Black Hills Brawl as part of the team, and just the emotions going into the game, it's just it feels like a whole different game. You know what I'm saying?
Yep.
To be in for that many years, 139 years, and just being in that environment there, because when I played at Shattern, we played them. We had a trophy for it too, but it wasn't anything like the homestake trophy.
Yeah, what's that one called?
I can't remember honestly, but that game was what I appreciate our coaches for doing is not building up the whole week. We need to win this. We have to. We just kept our heads on point the whole time, and we're just practicing hard the whole week. And then right when it got to game day, that's when we started firing up, and that's when our coaches are all right, this is a game that we need to get going on.
I was going to bring that up because one thing our head coach Bresky had talked about all week was just we're going to treat this game like no other game. It's just like every other game, and we're not going to hype it up and make it out what people think it is. And then come game day, he just thought, screw that. this is a huge game. This is the biggest game of the season because it's the game that's focused on right now. Like the biggest game of the season for us right now is this next coming game. And so I think that like I had never felt so much confidence rolling into a game until like this, like probably an hour and a half before the game when we were getting done with our breakdown. I don't know. It was just something about the way the team felt when we got off the bus was good. But when we got off the field, but right before we did warm-ups, like, it was great. I was so confident in the team, and, like, I didn't have a doubt in our mind we weren't going to win that game, no matter if we were down by 21 or whatever it was. And we ended up coming out and winning that game 22-0 or 22-20. And that was pretty fun. The ending of the game got a little wild because we were up by, what was it? It was 9 possession score, and it felt like the game was sealed, and then they had a late touchdown, and then we ended up having to punt at the end, and
with like a minute and a half left or something.
And I hit a beat punt.
It was beautiful.
And, it was one of my better punts this season, and they weren't going to be in great field position, but they were going to have the ball and opportunity to score again, and thankfully the returner muffed it, and then our boy Doodles Quinones hopped on it, and he was there to recover the punt, and so we ended up being able to run the clock out. Also at that game, another shout out to the elite teams here at BH. Our kicker Ryan Ewing had a school record field goal, 58-yarder, which was pretty sweet, and he also ended up winning Division II National Special Teams Player of the Week. He had a 58-yarder, a 49-yarder, a 37-yarder, I believe, and then he had one blocked, which it wasn't on him. Someone got through the line and got blocked, and then they had a PAT that went wrong. But he had a really, really awesome week, and he's been phenomenal for us these last couple weeks as he's stepped up and been the guy now. And he's someone we can really rely on. So shout out to Ryan Ewing and our long snapper Tony. And then this past week we just hosted Western Colorado at home.
Yeah, we had them. What is 7-7 first quarter?
Yep.
We were playing good the whole game, and then we just had a little stint. It's about 6 minutes left in the second quarter. Turned the ball over twice. They scored. Went 3 and out, and then they scored again.
Yeah.
And it was 28-7 at halftime, and then we kept plugging away. We ended up with a loss, but we kept plugging away. What I appreciate about our team is like, we were down 21, but we just didn't give up on the game.
Yeah.
So, I mean, tough loss. They're the number 8 team in the country. We know we could have played them better. Came out on top, but it's the way the game goes sometimes. But
it was tough. We just have to control the turnovers and eliminate those situations. It was as a team, when you compare like the yardages and the way that we played, it really felt like a much closer game than what the score represented. And it was just unfortunate that the 2 turnovers that we did have that were so crucial, they both happened inside the 30-yard line on our side of the ball. So it was unfortunate that we put him in such close position, and I think that was really a big difference maker in that game, because when it came to their starting field position, I mean, they had to march the field. They really didn't earn any touchdowns that game. They had 2 what the heck am I trying to say? The defense just broke down, and
two miscues,
two miscues on defense, and they had a trick play go for a long touchdown, and then they had a busted coverage on the backside, and they were able to hit a post and go deep. So 4 of their touchdowns weren't like our defense. It was one thing that we couldn't capitalize on, and so that just kind of shows that like on defense and offense, I mean, one thing goes wrong and it can just shift the complete momentum of the game. And so we caught an unfortunate break with those situations, and that was the way it was. But
other than that, though, the defense was phenomenal.
Yeah,
though.
they played
4th
great.
down stops. I think they had 2 of them.
Yeah,
they played phenomenal.
They forced, I think they forced like 8 or 9 punts.
Yep.
A lot of 3 and outs, which was really, really, really big for us. The biggest thing is just getting our offense back on the field.
Yeah.
I really liked what our offense was doing too. In the second half, we kind of paced our tempo up, and I really thought it was working well because it was giving our offense more opportunities to have the ball back. And we couldn't really juice the clock. We had to work with the clock and get down as fast as we could, but we just ran out of time and we couldn't catch up from that deficit. But this week we have another great opportunity. We're going into number 14 ranked CSU Pueblo. We leave Friday for that game. It's another great opportunity. They're undefeated in RMAC play, and they have one loss to Grand Valley State, who's the number 2 team in the country, and they lost by 3. So, I mean, we're going into a really, really tough physical game where I'm sure a lot of people are doubting us, but we don't doubt us. So I really think this is a game that is big for us. We're going to go into this one, and if we win this one, we're going to roll with a lot of momentum into Chadron the rest of the season, hopefully. So I don't know. I think with this game, something that's going to be big is our defense showing up, because I think they're the number 1 scoring offense
in the RMAC,
RMAC right now, mm-hmm. and their defense.
They got a good defense too. Yeah,
they're just really solid all around. But I just think we matched up really well against them. Last year we played them in a really close game. It was our last game of the year. We went down there and we lost by 3 or 5. I can't quite remember. It was a really, really fun game to be a part of for the last game of the season. We were both kind of just playing for better records there. No one made the playoffs from that game, but it did shift from us going from 3rd to 4th is what we finished at. If we would have won that game, I think we would have finished 3rd and they would have finished 4th. But that was a lot of fun. I know you weren't part of that for that one, but it was cool. It was a high scoring game. I only had 1 punt that game, so it's always nice for me when I don't have to do too much, but I do enjoy going out there and punting the ball sometimes. So I don't know. What do you think about this week? What's important for us?
Well, as far as us practicing right now, we've stacked like 3 really good days on top of each other. Agree. So kind of like just our practice schedule for those of you that don't know. So like on Mondays, we have our elite team stuff in the morning.
Yep.
Just go over everything, all the base stuff. Just get a feel for everything, what the other team's doing. And then we have OD meetings where we go over like kind of like the run schemes and everything. And then we go over what we're going to change in like the pass game and all that. Then we have a practice. It's just helmet practice, but we go out there, bust our ass up for an hour and a half.
Yep.
And then Tuesdays we call it Turn Tuesday, right? We go out there full pads, start, just have a good 2-hour practice.
Yep.
Then Wednesday, we just did is work Wednesday. Go out there, have another hard practice. But like these past 3 days, we've had really consecutive solid days, and we've just been stacking them, and the offense has been looking really good. So I'm excited for this game.
Yeah.
And
I would agree.
Yeah.
I think this has been probably our best week of practice we've had all year. Like one thing that we really, really put a lot of emphasis on this week was to have good practices. Yep. And I think that's something we've accomplished for sure this week. And I think every week we have like solid practices, and there's times where, like you don't have a great practice, but like this week has been just lights out. And I think everyone can really feel that, because we know we're playing for the rest of the season. We're playing for our season goals, which we want to be able to make the playoffs. We want to finish top 3. We also have a team goal as having a 3.0 GPA or higher. And winning the rest of the games is what's going to help us accomplish those goals and make the playoffs, hopefully. So if we win out, I think we have a really, really good opportunity to do that. But it just starts with this week. And so we can't worry about the weeks to come. We just have to worry about what's at task at hand right now, which is Pueblo. And so I think that if we come out with a win on this one, it's going to be really, really big for us, and definitely will turn a lot of heads, and people will be recognizing us more as a team to be reckoned with when it comes time to play Mesa, who that's another person on their schedule that's just, they're kind of in the same position as we are. They're really going to be fighting to make the playoffs as they come through their harder part of their schedule. And so that's kind of where we're at on the season right now. Where are you at with like school and managing all that? Because like this is a midterm week, so like we're kind of in the midst of our semester, and a lot of people have midterms, but just conveniently I don't have any, and Peyton doesn't have any. I think we lucked out with that, but I know school around this time can just be a lot to handle, because we're so deep and busy with season that it can become a drag. But like, how do you manage it? And
so like I'd say Sunday's like a really like good reset day for me. I try to go into the training room every Sunday after the game, use the little the boots that we have for the legs, get the legs feeling right for Monday. Then like when I do after that, I'll obviously have to watch the Broncos play regardless of how crappy they play. But yeah, I just like to get most of my work done beforehand, especially on a road week. Because, you know, you can do all your stuff at home when you play at home. You don't have the extra travel days, but getting stuff done on the road's kind of, I wouldn't say it's tougher, but it's just, you just don't feel like an obligation to do it sometimes because you're with all your boys and you're traveling, you're having fun. You know what I'm saying?
I always bring my laptop with the intention of doing homework,
and it never gets open.
Touch it. Yeah, I never do.
So yeah, like just road games are really, I just try to get ahead with everything and just make sure that my homework's done, that I have, if any tests are coming up, I make sure to tell my teachers I'm coming back for it the next week, study up for that. But school so far, it's been good. I've got 2 really challenging classes right now. I'm taking 2 400 psych classes. Yeah. I got a health psychology class. It's a little tough. The first test was a little shaky for me, but we had a presentation where we had to talk for 10 minutes and the 10 minutes doesn't seem like long until you're standing in front of 30, 40 people just standing there and you're like, I try not to go the whole time, but ended up getting 100% on my presentation, so that was a great thing. Yeah. Boosted the grade a little bit there. And then I have a really fun class, actually, Psych of Law and Order. It's kind of more like a criminology-based class. And we just did some like criminal profiling and stuff as a group project for like a week. Sweet. So that was really fun. And my other class, I got a research class. Then I have a child development psychology class. So all those have been going good. I've got all A's and B's right now, trying to keep up above a 3.0 GPA. So yeah, it's been good. How's your classes been?
They've been good. Me and Peyton are in different majors. I'm more towards the side where I'm getting closer to graduate with my degree. And right now, I enjoy a lot all my classes I have for the last couple of years. I've gotten out of the generals, and so everything's really just focused on education and teaching. And so this year, I have had a teaching methods class, so it's really focused on actually getting in front of students and being able to teach, which has been a lot of fun. I've been going to Canyon Hills, which is the school over in Sandstone for kids who aren't in school. They either live there or they are like day students where they come there for the day, and they don't have like a designated PE time. So we go out there and volunteer our time, and we set up a PE lesson for them every time we go out there, and we have 2 classes, each of them for an hour. And so we get to go out there and have fun. And I've made a lot of good connections and relationships over there with some of the students, and I've really enjoyed that. And then recently we just started teaching over at the Methodist preschool. That's the one over by Papa John's. It's been really fun. Before we went there, I kind of forgot like how small preschoolers are. I showed up thinking like I was teaching the lesson skipping, like just like tips and teaching them how to skip, and I was expecting like these kids to be a little bigger and taller, and when they came out, like
miniature.
Yeah, they were tiny. They had sippy cups, and like they were toddlers. Like these kids were 3-4 years old, and I was like, gosh, it just like it didn't dawn upon me until like they walked out, like how difficult it was going to be to try and teach some of these kids. And there's a lot of kids that were actually like really competent and understood how to skip well, and I was really impressed. But like it just like I was shocked. I don't remember being that young and being taught how to like skip and hop and bound and jump and leap and doing all these sorts of locomotor and manipulative movements. And so I was just like, this is wild. But I think it's really cool that we got to work hands-on with such a young age, because it really shows like what how important physical education and movement is for like these younger kids, and how it can lead them into participating in sports from a young age, and helping generations to come with just volunteering for sports and building a better community when it comes to being healthy. And so then lastly, we are now teaching over at the high school, which is fun. We are teaching Coach Harkless's class. Well, recently we just had our first one last week. I taught pickleball, and then over at the other tennis court, I think they're doing nitro ball. But I'm not like, I love pickleball, but I'm not super big on like knowing the rules and everything. But
And probably not good.
yeah, I mean, I'm really competitive, so I'd like to say I'm good at everything, but that's not always true. But I'm just super competitive when it comes to that, and I think that's part of the reason why I like my major and why I chose it, just because like even if I'm not in a sport, I'm around sports, and that's just what I enjoy to do. So I think that's why a big reason why I wanted to do what I'm doing, and so just having those opportunities has been really, really cool and a lot of fun and really eye-opening to what is to come in the future. And it's a handful of completely different opportunities. Like at one, I'm teaching these students who don't have the opportunity to be a part of PE classes, and I'm teaching preschoolers who have never been in a PE class, and then high schoolers who are volunteering to be in PE. I guess we're teaching freshman PE, so I think they're required to be there, but it's students who have been in PE their whole lives and understand it. And so it's cool to see all these varieties of like different ways PE gets taught. And so I've really enjoyed it. And it's just like, there's so many differences, but so many similarities. And so,
what's your favorite group to teach? Like, do you like trying to like develop kids into it, or do you like the kids that are older?
I really like so I want to teach high school and middle school.
Okay.
I really hope I get to. The fun thing about the young kids is that they are so enthusiastic, and like it's so simple with them. Like you get them excited and they will skip or jump or leap
go
and
for
hop
hours
forever, and they're just like so intended on doing it and love it. But at the same time, like I like sometimes getting in and playing the games with them. So like that's why I like going with the older kids, because it's fun to participate and get involved and be competitive with them and build those, teacher to student relationships where like they respect you as a teacher, but also like they can joke around with you and have fun and like know that like you can be their friend as well. And so my favorite group that I've taught this year though by far is Canyon Hills. Those kids over there are just like they're so much fun. Like I've never met a group of kids who are just like there's kids that are I think 17 or 18 all the way down to like 11 that we're teaching in groups, and they all get along really well whenever we're doing PE, and they really enjoy it because I think it's just like it's something that they don't get to do very often. So us going out there has been really, really big for them, and it's been really big for me because it's something that's cool that I get to volunteer and do to help kids who aren't fortunate enough to have a PE class every day or every other day. And so they love it, and it makes it a lot of fun when the kids are as involved as you want to be. So yeah, that's something that I'm just super thankful for, and definitely enjoy teaching them. Like if there's any way that I could, when I become a PE teacher, to
like help in the community,
volunteer over there, yeah, I would definitely like to like maybe see if there's any way I could like schedule certain days to where I can go teach PE over there, or we can meet at the rec center or the college, because I know the college would totally. I just talked to Bree and she would allow me to teach a class in the Young Center or something, and I think that'd be cool just for something like collaborative to where they can have a more consistent PE schedule, because I know the teachers really enjoy it too, because it gives them some time off and the students get to let off some steam and be outside and
just go have fun.
Yeah
that's kind of like during the winter section of our football stuff, Sebastian O'Farrell, all of us my group, we all went and helped with the Special Olympics over at the rec center. And it was a fun time. We were just there for about an hour and a half. Yeah. And we'd just go play hoops together. Like we'd all just like, it was just a fun time for everybody. Yeah. You get to meet everybody. I still see them around town and they all still wave at me. They still know who I am. Yeah. So it's a great time, just going over there and volunteering, and like they let us play in the games and stuff, and you try to teach them some stuff about basketball. It's just a great time. Yeah. And then like going back on what you're saying about getting into like teaching like PE and stuff, I still remember like my middle school PE class was probably my favorite, just because both of my or Mr. Lee, my PE teacher, whenever we played basketball, it was just straight one-on-one with me and him the whole time, and like you could tell he's be competitive, like not going easy. It was just a fun time. Like That'd be a fun career. Personally, I'm not like a teaching kind of person.
Right.
I know you are, obviously, but like, yeah, that was one of my favorite times in middle school, is just doing all that PE stuff and getting involved. It was a good time.
It's definitely fun. I like when teachers can be competitive. Like, I know when I had Chase Tyson, I want to say my sophomore year, he was my wrestling partner, like at practice. The coaches will get involved and volunteer, and like when we don't have certain weights, and Tyson would always push me super hard. He was a better wrestler than me. He was stronger than me, bigger than me, and he also, when it came to PE, was the exact same way. Like, we'd go play badminton, and he was the most competitive person in the entire class, because that's just the way he was wired and the way he is, and that's something that's rubbed off on me really, like, in a good way, because like I've carried that trait on to where I've just become a super competitive person, but I know like my limits and like where competitive and teaching can get in the way, and so like I found that like good line to where I can be both, and so that's something that I'm looking really forward to. Another thing that we volunteered for that's a lot of fun, I actually really enjoy, is this class over at the rec center. We've been to it twice now. It's called Silver Sneakers. I don't know, have you ever heard of it?
No, I haven't.
So it's a senior citizens yoga class. Oh. And it is so fun. So like we go there and we sit in chairs and do yoga, and then we'll get up and like exercise. And I met a couple ladies there, and they actually both of them knew football players on the team that lived next to him, and one of them was Boba.
Boba.
Yeah. And she called him Ogre, and I couldn't put it together because I was like, who the heck? She said Nick, and then she called him Ogre, and we have two Nicks on our team. So we have Nick Arnold and Nick Quinones, and Nick Arnold's nickname is Boba, and he called himself Boba Ogre. And so she's like, yeah, I know Nick, he's my neighbor. And my head just went to Nick Quinones, because we just call Boba.
Yeah.
And
I didn't even know his first name was Nick, if I'm being honest. I just know him as Boba.
Yeah, so she's like, yeah, but he goes by Ogre, and he does yard work for me. And I was like,
not ringing a bell.
I was like, who goes by Ogre on our team? And I was sitting there for hours that day, like after Silver Sneakers, just like pondering, like, why does she call him Ogre? And then it dawned upon me, we have another Nick on our team. I just completely blanked out that his name is Nick, but we just call him Boba. And so I thought it was funny that I made that connection, and they were super sweet. I sat in between them, and we had a good conversation, and I got to know a lot about them and where they were from. And so I just think that's something that's really fun that I never really would have thought to volunteer for, like before I did that. And I didn't even know that went on. And so there's a lot of opportunities around Spearfish to where it comes to volunteering for like just physical activity in general. So I think that's something that was really cool, and connection that I made that maybe I'll go to one day when I'm older and in that situation. But
if you could still move.
Yeah. But that was a lot of fun. But that's kind of where we're at with school. I guess what's something I was gonna ask you earlier, but like, what's like your go-to, like when you're getting burnt out of like something, like whether it's football, school, just life in general, like what is something that like brings you back to earth and like allows you to center yourself back again and just separate yourself from the situation that's going on, and then just bring you back?
Yeah.
What
so
you do?
I'm going to go back to like fall camp for football wise, but like football, it's a lot of like, you know how much time we put in every day, every week. Like it's a second job for us. Like we are there for meetings on hours upon a day. We have lifting during the week. We have practice every day. Like we have a lot of stuff that we have to do on top of school. So whenever it gets to that, and you know, you kind of get like, I don't know, like not like a, I don't know how to say it, but like kind of like a darkening, like, oh, I have to keep going to this. Cause I'm just like, try to like see how thankful I am for everything. Like there's only it's like 1% of kids play a college sport after high school.
It's not a lot. I know that.
And the fact that I can do it in my hometown and I was able to come back here and play, like I just try to be like grateful for things like upon that, and just be like, I try not to look at it as like a burden, but like be more thankful. Cause like when stuff like when it gets hard and you're like especially during fall camp, it's day 10 of fall camp and you're like waking up, your body's sore.
Yeah.
You have another 12-hour day of football. Like I just try to be like thankful for everything and just like look back and see what would I be doing if I wasn't doing this. And I can't think of anything that I would be. Right. Like this is what I love to do. So I just try to like just take a step back and just be thankful for like everything that's come my way for that. So what about yourself?
I mean, honestly, like the way I do things is just like I'll go home and like put all my phone down, all social media and all that, and just chill. I just chill with my dogs. I've got 2 dogs at home that I just relax with, and it kind of just like brings me back. And I'm just like relaxed, and it cools me down. And then if I'm with my girlfriend too, sometimes she's there, sometimes she's not, but like just talking with her and being real, I enjoy stuff like that. And recently I try to find things to look forward to and do that like I just try to find new things to do. I'm like I hate being bored, so I like to be busy. And recently me and my girlfriend just are moving into our first house together. We're renting. We haven't bought yet, but there's some work that needed to be done to the place. And so I really enjoyed like every day that I get to go out there. And like she hasn't been out there since I've done all this stuff, but like I've been bringing in furniture, building some stuff. I'm putting up a fence, doing yard work, and like I'm just trying to like make it look super nice before she gets there. And so like I really enjoyed being able to go out there and just like have time to myself to work. Just something I enjoy doing, like
full dad mode.
Yeah, pretty much. Like it's just I really like working. Yeah. So like that's something that I'm really fortunate for. Like when football's over, I know that like I'll still enjoy, life the way it is because I love working, and I always will find something to enjoy and do. So that's something that I feel like brings me back and allows me to, settle back in. It's not as much reflecting on football or school, whatever it is, because
but it's something outside of it that helps you. Yeah.
Sometimes I feel like when I try to reflect on something that like I am getting tired of, I can't like get over it because
you're still thinking about it more.
I'm thinking about football, so like it's just still consuming me, and so it's like that's just something that I really find important in life is just to like get away. Another way is like recently our Bible studies. Yeah, I really hopped back into gear when it came to my faith. Like in high school and middle school, I was a lot more involved than I was my first couple of years of college. And recently our youth, I wouldn't call it a youth group, but like our Bible study leader, Thomas, he has introduced a lot more ways to expand my faith and allow us to make it more part of our life and be centered in that way. And so like right now we're doing just Bible studies on Wednesdays, trying to attend church on Sundays as much as we can. And then we just started this small group, which I hope he ends up joining. He set up an appointment to join it. I wasn't able to make it this last week, but because I was moving into our house, but it was our first week of doing this. It's creating like leaders in discipleship. And so that's something that I've really enjoyed. I had my first session today. We just did it solo, and I think it's something that has become really important in my life and also brings me back and centers me because it's something that isn't related to such a like physical part in my life to where like I'm always at school, I'm always at football. This is something that like I can do in my own time, and so that's something that really gets my mind off things and allows me to just calm down and read and sit in silence. And so I'm super thankful for having a guy like him to be around and lead us through these meetings that we have with him every Wednesday. We missed the group today because we normally go on Wednesdays, but this was the only day this week that it was going to work. So
it's something like
besides that, but
I don't know, like Bible study is something I look forward to on Wednesday nights too, because I got my Wednesdays are super long. I'm at the school from 6:37 till 7 at night, and then walking in from a long practice on Wednesday. And just walking in, and Thomas is just like sitting there waiting for us, like waiting, and he always has chocolate milk and cookies.
Snacks. Yeah, it's the best.
It's great. So like that after a long day is really nice and enjoyable. Yeah. So
and it's super cool to have someone who is similar in age to us who played college sports. He was a baseball player over at Minnesota State, the last school I was at. He graduated from there and played baseball and everything. And so it's fun to see someone who has gone through all the same stuff we have, but has taken a complete different path than like I'm not going to school to like be a missionary like he is. And so it's really cool to learn from someone who's done all the same stuff we have. But we know that like even though we've done all this stuff, our life can still be centered around all these like our life can just be centered around our faith in general. And so it's just I really enjoy having him around, and I know that we've expanded our group. It's really cool to be a part of a team that I feel like values Christianity as much as we do, because after every practice, every game, no matter win or lose, no matter upset, happy, whatever it is, we always end with a team prayer every night of the week. And so it's just something that I enjoy being a part of. Is just something that we value as a team. Is just it's really good. And we've expanded our group to, I don't know, probably 15 guys. Mm-hmm. And we don't pressure anyone to come, but like it's totally voluntary and if you want to. But I know
we've got like 5 more that have added to our group this year, which is cool.
Yeah, so it seems like every week we're getting more guys, and so it's cool to just see something like that I know it's an extra hour out of your day, and it's tough because you use that time to rest, go eat, do whatever. But I just think it's something that's so important to value in your life, and it's cool to see we have this group growing, and I hope it continues to grow even when I'm gone and I can still be a part of it and help and stuff. So it's just something that I think I don't know if a lot of teams have stuff like that. I know my last school we had nothing like that, and so it's really cool to be a part of that.
Yeah.
But I think that's kind of all we've got for you guys. We'll have another loaded episode next time, hopefully. And thanks for watching. We'll see you guys next time.
Yeah. We want to talk about.
Sorry. Hey, we're going to give a quick shout out to our Spearfish Spartans. We got Darren Douglas in the house, one of the defensive coaches over at Spearfish High School. They have had a really successful season. I know I haven't been playing high school football for almost 4 years now. I didn't come from the most successful time there, and neither did Peyton. He was there for the turn when they started winning games, but it's awesome to see our hometown Spearfish finally seeing some success. Not some, they're seeing a lot, and they're
number 2 in the state now.
They're 2-1, or sorry, number 2 in the state. They're 5-1, and they've won a lot of big games, and so I'm really excited to see what they do for the rest of the year. I think that there's no reason why they can't go to a state championship and compete for that. I would love to see that. I think, when would that be, Darren?
November 15th, 16th.
Yeah, we wouldn't be able to go to that. Yeah, we'll be in season. But I was going to say, if we were out of season, I would totally go to that game. But if we weren't in season, but I hope that this success can continue for years to come, because I think it'd be awesome to go watch our hometown compete for a state title. It's just something that we haven't seen in years. And last time Spearfish won one was 2002, I believe. Right? 2003.
When I was born.
Yeah,
it's crazy.
So it's been a long time, and so seeing the success is awesome. I know they got a lot of dudes over there who are made a big jump in this last year. I know we talked about it last episode with Coach Santer, getting guys in the weight room, getting guys bigger, stronger. I think that was I think when I was in high school. When I was in high school and you were in high school, we had a lot of dudes and a lot of great athletes, but the thing we were missing was the weight room. We didn't have a lot of guys like who were strong and could play O-line. I think that was our biggest problem. Like it reminded me of like Nebraska football back in the 90s, when they like started to value the weight room as much as they did, because that's like right when they won all those national titles and became like the school to be messed with. And so, or to not be messed with. So, just shout out to the Spartans. I hope they continue to win. I know they got Pier this week, right?
Yeah.
So that's a big game for them. I think that's a get back game. Haven't had success against them in the last couple of years, and so I think that this game, winning this one, would have a huge amount of confidence for the rest of the season. They got Sturgis, Pier, in playoffs. So winning these last 2 games would just lead into some awesome confidence for them rolling into the playoffs. I think that they definitely could go all the way. I really hope they do. I think it'd be cool.
Too.
So besides that, I think that's all we got for you guys, and I appreciate you guys watching. I think this is a pretty good episode, and see you guys next time.